Thank you. I do apologise on behalf of Mark Ryan. He was unable to attend today, so you've got my dulcet tones and I'll try and address the presentation and give it some justice. And it's an interesting title to begin with, being local producer, global player. It's very much in line with where Tassal is structured and is heading towards. We are one of Australia's largest aquaculture company. We're listed on the ASX in the ASX 200, and we have full vertical integration from the egg to the plate, broadly across the island of Tasmania, and some exposure on mainland Australia through our sales network and processing here in Sydney at our Lidcombe facility. At present, we're heading towards 32,000 metric tonnes of salmon this year. We are now the largest industry in Tasmania, which gives us a very significant footprint within the island and within the state. And with that, we do have to maintain our engagement with the community, ensure that we're adhering to social norms and expectations, particularly with it's a small regional island. The state has 500,000 people. So it's quite regional mentality. We have 1,200 direct employees within our business, and that makes us one of the major employers in Tasmania. And with the flow-on effect with multiplier jobs in the community, it's significant that everybody has some exposure to Tassal on the island. In amongst that mix, it's a broad range of skill sets, a diverse range of people who have actually come to Tasmania as part of our business, and a broad experience throughout the community. One of the key strategies of Tassal and our export sales regime are effectively to create a high quality product that's sustainable within the environment, has low impact, and can generate some returns for the broader community, utilising resources that are readily available. We target to leverage our scale and build on our economies to ensure that we've got efficient use of our raw materials and also the environmental factors that can have an impact upon us. We attempt to access the market through a range of channels, whether it be retail, wholesale, right through to the export community as well. And our plan is to maximise our penetration to capitalise on our utilisation of our raw materials. We also have a very key strategic alignment with our shareholders. We are counted by many investors in the business. There's a lot of expectations within those who have a vested interest in Tasmania and Tassal. So we're always under a key focus to ensure that we return a good return for our margin back to the shareholders, and for the longer term sustainable growth of the business. One of the things amongst that is, rather than just having a base level of salmon products, we have to expand our basket of goods. And that has sort of been part of our implementation, growing into the seafood sector with our investment in the processing facilities here in Sydney as well. Tasmania being a relatively small community and very high expectations, which are certainly justified. It's a pristine community, a pristine area. So we have to engage with the community, ensure that we've got acceptance for all the stakeholders within the state and also within the Australian overall sort of aquaculture industry. So we have to gain that right to operate. It's not given to us. We have to be able to demonstrate to the community that we look after the region, look after our resources, and also expand in a very sustainable manner. So we have in the past, and we continue to invest in the communities, whether it be through active engagement and clear communication, to ensure that everybody around us is on the ride with us. They accept the journey. So that's also in training, employment, and overall strong influence on the state as well as the broader Australian community. Key to that is zero harm to our employees, zero harm to the community, zero harm to the environment. So there's nothing that we can do that shouldn't be done safely. And then for us to grow, we're in the media quite a lot. The environmental status of Tasmania is very strong, so we're always scrutinised, which isn't a bad thing. We like to be held up, we like to be challenged, because we certainly want to make sure that we're coming across to achieve the best outcomes for utilisation of our resources, for the community, but also for our shareholders. And part of that is to find common ground. In any agribusiness environment, we do have access to resources, and we need to make sure that we're getting a return back to those that allow us to utilise them. So for us, the essence of sustainable development is that to ensure that, like, for future farmers, we don't destroy the environment, we don't destroy the resources. It's for ongoing success for future generations as well. We get measured very closely by a very diverse range of people within the community, and that's for us to measure our success in sustainability. We look to a global standard. The ASC, the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, essentially gives us a benchmark, and it's a global standard for us to achieve as a feedback mechanism to make sure that we're doing the best we can with our operations. We generate sustainability reports. We're very transparent within our business, and we ensure that everybody has an awareness of what we're doing. Within the globe, I think most people are aware, aquaculture is a growing trend. It's the way we're going to feed the nations of the world. Population's expanding. So if you look historically from a wild-caught species, over the past, it's been a decline in eating habits and consumption of wild-caught species, but aquaculture has filled that void with increasing demand. So by 2050, there's going to be 2 billion people, twice as much food is going to be needed, and with that, the aquaculture is going to be a lion's share of that, with an extra 48 million tonnes of aquaculture required. And you see there that the wild-caught species are going to be limited. They're also going to be measured around sustainability, so they're going to come under pressure to ensure that we're maintaining the waterways. Aquaculture has the ability to convert a limited amount of raw material to expand on our outputs. So in 2015, the aquaculture actually surpassed wild-caught, and over the next 10 to 12 years, we're going to actually increase to about 60% of marine protein. Sustainability is always measured by a range of factors, but in today's day, carbon footprint is one. Salmon is close to the lowest scale of carbon footprint. That's improved further now. We have our processing facility for handling our byproducts and raw materials, our waste stream to generate fish oils and fish meal. So we're always working to reduce our footprint. And then from a feed conversion ratio to ensure that we've got that sustainable return on salmon, on our protein. Salmon is the lowest in regard to the feed conversion ratio. So as a protein source, it's not only healthy for consumers, but also healthy for the environment. For us as a global player, we're small. We're less than 1% of global production of salmon, and in the export world, we're competing in some of the major regions, such as Norway and Chile. We have some competitive advantage around our regional provenance and brand strategy, brand recognition. It's strong. We get stronger yields, improved yields from our salmon compared to our competitors. We can get to the market earlier, specifically in Asia. We beat our counterparts by a day at minimum. And also with our sustainability and our recognition of Tassal as a premium brand gives us an upper edge. Also with it, we need to grow our fish bigger so that we can ensure that we have access to the markets that want access to those fish. China and North Asia have a preference for large head-on gutted fish. And we're in a position now where we can utilise our resources to ensure that we can grow our fish out to that size. So we're heading towards 20% of our fish will be suitable for the Chinese market in North Asia. In the past year, it's been favourable for Tassal specifically around global demand and global supply mechanisms have been affected. That's allowed us to penetrate the market, establish our position, and really give some access to the consumers so they can recognise the difference between Tassal product and our competitors. And those conditions will continue throughout the year ahead. There's always going to be variability. We're in a very strong position to take advantage of them.
I have to ask you to stop.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
So, sorry about that, but we do have to go to time. I'll give you 30 seconds to say your last pitch.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's just all the activities we're doing internationally, they're pretty well versed and well spoken about. But effectively, as a regional producer, we do have a lot of focus in Tasmania. We've also got a lot of input and a lot of specialised skills, and our quality systems, sustainability, everything sets us apart on the global stage.
Thank you.